Understanding spinal injuries. Now, a lot of times people don't really understand what to do with spinal injuries. They get very worried and they don't want to get involved in any form of first aid just in case somebody has a spinal injury and they make things worse. So understanding what a spinal injury is quite helpful to understand what is going on and what your actual priorities are. So in terms of a spinal injury, you are worried about damage to the spinal cord, which sits within your spine. So your spinal cord is down inside, protected by your vertebra. So your vertebra you will see, and you can feel down the back here, that's your cervical spine. You feel the knobbles down the back, and that protects your spinal cord from damage. It's all pretty firm, pretty good, pretty resilient. However, if you have serious impact, and in what we're talking at the moment, we're talking about head injuries causing spinal damage. So you think about whiplash, which is bending it further than it should, but actually you can break your neck. If you break your neck, you're talking about damaging the bones, bony area, and damaging potential. The bit you're worrying about is damaging the spinal cord. Bones we can fix. Spinal cord carries all your vital messages from your brain to your arms, to your legs, to the rest of your body, and damage to your spinal cord can cause life-changing injuries. The higher up the damage, the more of your body can end up paralyzed. And we can do some pretty amazing stuff in medicine at the moment, but we still struggle to fix a damaged spinal cord. So really important that if you suspect that there has been any form of bony damage or damage to the neck, that you don't let them twist. It is that twisting motion which can cause the spinal cord that irreparable damage. So really important, if you suspect that somebody might have a spinal injury, if they are conscious, that you support them with your hands like that, nice open fingers, and you'll be supporting them like that. Nice open fingers so that they can actually hear you, and you are supporting them. You'll be lying on your stomach with them on the back, supporting them. It depends how they've fallen actually, so supporting them how they have fallen and making sure that their airway at their spine is in a nice neutral position. If so that's called that's known as MILS, it's manual inline stabilization. So it's supporting them there, fingers open so that they can still hear you, and you're talking to them. You're not restraining them, so if they are struggling to get up, you're not holding them while they're fighting against you. You are supporting them gently to keep the spine in line, and you would do that until the paramedics arrive. Now, if they are losing consciousness or they've lost consciousness, then it's really important that you understand that the airway takes priority. When you are unconscious, your muscles relax and go floppy. Your tongue is an enormous great muscle firmly attached to your bottom jaw. And if you are unconscious and lying on your back, the back of your tongue will flop back and block your airway. It will happen. If it flops down and blocks your airway, you will not be able to breathe. So to open the airway, they either do a jaw thrust by pulling the bottom jaw forward while supporting the head in a nice neutral position, or in basic first aid, you are still very carefully tilting the head and lifting the chin to open the airway, making sure that you are not twisting them. That is opening the airway to see if they're breathing. But if they are unconscious and lying on their back, their airway will shut. So what you will need is to get some other people to help you and to very carefully log roll them into a position where the tongue will flop forward and the contents of their stomach will drain out, rather than risking going down into their lungs, because the nice little sphincter that keeps everything in your stomach will stay in open as well. So you want to be in a position where the contents will drain out and your tongue will flop forward. So even if you suspect they might have a spinal injury, if their airway is in jeopardy and you are unable to maintain their airway in the position that they are in, you will still need to very carefully, with the help of other people, someone supporting them, both hands, I have videos that will show you how to do this, supporting them, and other people down the side, keeping their spine in line, rolling them over, keeping everything straight and in line into the recovery position to ensure that their airway is kept clear. So that is really important. People say, oh, don't move them if you suspect a spinal injury. If they're left lying on their back and they're unconscious and breathing, they will stop breathing if their airway becomes blocked. So really important, they're put in a position, again, supported properly the whole time, into a position where their airway remains open. If they're unconscious and not breathing, you would do CPR, whether you suspect a spinal injury or not, because if you don't, then they are dead. So really important to understand your airway takes priority over any potential spinal injury, and breathing takes priority over any potential spinal injury. It may sound very obvious, but actually people do get confused about it, and this belief that you shouldn't do anything if you are worried about a spinal injury seems to pervade. So airway and breathing takes priority over potential spinal injury.